Hello, once again, and welcome back or welcome for the first time to Holy Shift. I am your host, Stephanie Gray. And if you are new here or you're just not really sure what you've gotten yourself into, I am an intuitive, an artist, and a creative transformation guide. And I am bringing in information for you, for whoever wants to listen about the shift that's happening on the planet. And the information that I've been getting from my guides for at least 3 years, more than that, but it, in earnest about 3 years. And so I'm bringing information from that and also just from what I'm going through personally, what I'm seeing around me, and we're taking it as it comes, and I am being led a lot intuitively here. So I had an intuitive hit to create another episode or conversation, as it were. And this time we're going to talk about creativity, emotions, and the shift and what that looks like. And what am I even talking about? Well, I am talking about the fact that this shift in consciousness that is happening on the planet is partly doing what it does to clean us out, to like have us look at maybe some wounding or some experiences, some pain, anything that we have experienced but kept in our bodies, like haven't processed yet, unprocessed stuff. So part of what's happening is that this unprocessed stuff is being shaken, right, by the light that's coming onto the planet. It is sort of being jostled loose for us to look at on a collective level and also on an individual level. And part of what I've been guided to do is talk about how creativity plays a big part or can play a big part in this next phase of what's happening. And so when you're looking at a situation where you are being called to do some house cleaning, we'll just put it that way. If you are having an experience where you just cannot get comfortable, where there's some stuff coming up for you internally, some memories, some feelings, some emotions. Um, One thing that is important to do is not to ignore it, not to run from it. Of course, we all have free will, you can do whatever, but to make it less uncomfortable in the long run and to allow more room for the light to come into your own body, creating some space is the next step. And by creating space, I mean going ahead and working through some of the tougher emotions, the tougher memories. Um, Basically, what I've been reminded of lately is a study that was done by a Harvard professor. Let's see, Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I don't know if I am, but they are a neuroscientist, and a study was done to figure out how long an emotion actually lasts in the body. So how long is this do? So let's say we have a painful emotion that's coming up, and if we choose to just feel it without telling the story about it and really feel it and really process it and really move with it, it lasts about 90 seconds. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be more to sort of process and feel through at another time, but in individual times, that feeling will last about 90 seconds. And of course, I mean, I've been through deep grief in my life. That doesn't have to necessarily apply if someone has just passed away in your life, or, what, fill in the blank. If you're going through deep grief, that might not apply to you. But just in general, the 90-second rule has been brought up to me over and over again, like reminded me. I've been reminded of this. Um, And so with that 90-second rule, we can do some house cleaning, right? It doesn't have to be as painful as continually pulling up the story and pulling it back in and reminding ourselves of the story and pulling it back in. That just creates suffering. And so when we really experience and feel the feelings, maybe where it is in our body and all of that for 90 seconds, then it can move out and there's room for something else to occur. And so, how does creativity come into this? Is that we can use creativity as a tool to move this energy and this experience and this feeling out simply by scribbling, simply by getting curious about where it might you might be feeling it in your body and and just creating with color. You don't have to be an artist or dancing it out, right? Dancing it out, singing it out, movements, using your voice, vocalizing. That actually helps with our nervous system as well and our vagus nerve when we hum, when we sing. So all of these things can be used in tandem to move things up and out. And it's a way to transmute as well. So creatively transmuting and transitioning into, okay, what's next? Holding space, having more room and opportunity for something else to come through and practicing present moment awareness. So present moment awareness, feeling your feelings, but not getting attached to the story, and then play and creatively playing. And again, singing, dancing, scribbling, whatever it looks like for you, but being present with it. That all is a way to energetically shift things and to work with the energies that are coming onto the planet now and to create a space of welcoming that in, even if it's uncomfortable for a little bit. This is a way to manage that and create space for what's next. So I've just been reminded over and over again that it is going to be uncomfortable because there are going to be bits of things, even maybe not even from this lifetime, but from another lifetime or ancestral, right? It's all coming through and being agitated up for us to look at, for us to take in, feel it, give it love, and release it. And creativity helps to do that in a gentle way, in a natural way, because we are all creators. And it allows us to be present to what is, even if it's uncomfortable. Because from my own experience, what I'm noticing is if I do not take the chance and the opportunity to feel things, to welcome them, to love them, to release them, to transmute them, things just get worse. If I try to ignore them or say, okay, I'll deal with it later or whatever, I just have more and more discomfort in my body until I cannot stand it, right? And so part of what I believe is ours to do, or we have that choice, right? Is to meet these parts of us, these experiences, these feelings, and move with them. And that helps us from the inside out, but also collectively as we begin to move these shadow pieces, because that's really, I mean, call them what they are, but shadow pieces, as we get curious about the shadow, as we move with that, and as we bring that up to be seen and then released, it can take maybe 90 seconds, right? So anyway, that's what I was called to talk about today. That is something that is near and dear to my heart. So I'll probably talk about it again, but I love the idea of creative release. And then that brings us more into our heart space as we are creating, because creativity does drop us into the heart. And from that place, that's where this new operating system comes online. That's where the new human can be found. And that's where we're all headed. We may not all be headed there all at once, but it is happening in phases. So if any of this resonates with you, I'm so glad. And um, yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And if you have any questions or any thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. All right, until next time, thank you.